Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. Happy Pi Day to those who are mathematically inclined. Do you ever have difficulty getting along with people? Are there some people that seem like they're just like poison ivy in their relationships? They just irritate everywhere they touch? The Philippian church had a pair of ladies that were having trouble getting along. And in today's passage, the Apostle Paul gives them ways to deal with their interpersonal relationship issues. Philippians 4, verses 1 to 4, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, 2nd edition, says, "Therefore, my brothers and sisters, stay true to the Lord. I love you and long to see you, dear friends, for you are my joy and the crown I receive from my work. Now I appeal to Euodia and Syntyche. Please, because you belong to the Lord, settle your disagreement. And I ask you, my true partner, to help these two women, for they worked hard with me in telling others the good news. They worked along with Clement and the rest of my co-workers, whose names are written in the book of life. Always be full of joy in the Lord. I say it again, rejoice." The Apostle Paul begins this appeal by asking us to stay true to the Lord. And then he wants us to remember who we are. He refers to the Philippian church as his joy and the crown of his work. We need to remember who we are. If we're in disagreement or at irritation with someone else, we are those who belong to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. We are those he is using to build his temple. We are the children of God. We need to remember who we are. We are the saved, the redeemed, the forgiven. And we need to remember who we are. And then he appeals to the two ladies, Euodia and Syntyche, to make things right between the two of them. You know what that means? That means they need to let go of the hurt they're hanging on to. Doesn't mean they forget what's wrong. Coming to agreement means that they come to where they both have been made right and made whole again. But they have to let go of their hurt feelings and their disappointments and their angers and their bitternesses towards each other. Doesn't mean they don't make things right, but it means they let go of all the feelings they're harboring and dwelling on that keep the disagreement going. They need to settle it and make things right between them. And then he appeals to the church to help them. Sometimes the church needs to help us remember who we are and what sort of things we ought to be frustrated about and what sort of things we need to let go. And sometimes we just need some help. We're being reminded to let go of the bad feelings we're hanging on to. He tells them both, you're good workers, you're hard workers. You've helped me in the past. Now keep doing it. And then he reminds them, always be full of the joy of the Lord. In other words, get rid of the anger, get rid of the malice, get rid of the envy, get rid of the hurt feelings, get rid of the disappointment. Make room in your life for the joy to take over. If it's a command, then that means it's possible to be fulfilled. He said, always be full of the joy of the Lord. And sometimes we got to empty out the bad stuff before we have room for the good stuff. Our choices determine our happiness and how we choose to respond to the irritations of life. We want to hold on to things and remember things and keep that grudge going. And instead, Paul tells us, let it go, put it out, make room for the joy that God wants to give you. May we not be bogged down in dealing with relationships that cause us irritation and pain. May we instead be focusing on what brings us the joy of the Lord and recognize that we are God's people destined to enjoy the gift of joy. God bless you.